Left jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Saying that you're the best, you gotta show me son. Actions over words, baby boy, is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
First in the building, Toby Bartlett from across the pond is on deck. Salute WCS in the chat. We're global, baby. We're global. Hottest chat on the YTC. Yes, sir. Appreciate you being first in the building, on deck, ready to kick off. You know what I'm saying? This Tuesday, we're moving right along throughout the week. This is going to be some boxing and MMA talk. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about the thumbnail. You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. Just doing something new. You know what I'm saying? You know, so hopefully it's not vague to you, those of you who don't have any problem troubleshooting and brainstorming. You know what I'm saying? Using your brain cells that God bless you with to figure out that's what type of time we on. Let's go. So I want to start off by talking about Valentina Shevchenko, right? I gotta start talking about my freaking MMA. People tell me, man, you know your MMA, but you barely even talk about it, man. And I said, you're right, bro. You're right. For real. I just neglect the crap out of talking about mixed martial arts for whatever reason. But Valentina Shevchenko, you know, she's a former 125-pound flyweight champion in the UFC. She's fought as high as 135. And, you know, most of her losses is before, you know, was from Amanda Nunes. But she did lose to Alexa Grasso. And they had their rematch. That's what I like about the UFC. They allow a fighter to return. So she fought Grasso back in March of 2023 this year. And then, you know, it's only 6 months later, right? And they back in the ring for a rematch. I love it. Well, up in Noche UFC, there was some scoring controversy. It kind of reminded me back in the day when UFC always used to have scoring controversies. It seemed like the judges was just up there. I don't know, it was a little fuzzy to them. Or they just didn't have the format for which to grade the criteria, you know, of the bout. I would say I thought it was getting cleaned up, but every now and then you do have some dark moments, just like boxing. And that's what happened this time. You know, the judge, Mr. Bell, you know, scored the 5th round of 10-8 only because Grasso had Valentina Shevchenko's back. I mean, it wasn't anything that she was in trouble or anything like that. I mean, just because somebody's controlling you on the ground doesn't mean it's a 10-8 round. Just because you get knocked down in an MMA fight, they don't grade a 10-8 fight, a 10-8 round, just like boxing. It doesn't. It's different. It's different criteria for which you're looking at and how you're judging that, right? So he graded the 5th round, which was clearly Grasso's round, but he graded a 10-8 for whatever reason. And then when the scores are read, you know, Shevchenko, who in my opinion, won rounds 1, 3, and 4, enough to win her the 5-round contest. The fight ended up being a draw. So they're gonna have to figure that out. I'm pretty sure Dana is gonna allow these two women to get back in there and fight again. Grasso retains her flyweight world championship. I like Grasso. She's a tough competitor. I like Valentina Shevchenko too. You know what I'm saying? I like the Bullet. One of my favorite fighters. But unfortunately, there are times like this where you get disappointed because now they're probably going to come back near the end of the year and fight again. So I don't mind trilogies. I don't mind rematches. This is a quality rematch. It's just unfortunate. Valentina should have earned her title back, this past weekend. She should have very well earned her title back. Real talk. But she didn't. And that's the real truth coming from me. You know what I'm saying? So I thought she would have definitely regained her title, but she didn't. Grasso cannot lose her title in a draw, as we all know. So that's where we at with it, man. Unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? So Grasso picks up her 16th. I mean, not her 16th. Grasso's record is 15-3 with 1 draw. Valentina Shevchenko pick up her first draw of her freaking MMA career. And, she's 35 years old right now. So let's see what happens next. See if they fight again by the end of the year. Most of the time, Dana White don't have no problem putting these fighters back in the cage and getting it in. You feel me? So let's stay and hold down the fort with that. Let me give a big shout out and salute to the hottest chat in the MFing game. A-side official. We already know. We are the ones that is the A side. Absolutely. Point blank, period. Ain't no negotiation. You know what I'm saying? We got the leverage. Quality over quantity. Believe that. Shout out to Big Blunts and Boxing in the building. The GOAT is on deck. NYT is in the building. Salute to you on deck this morning. WS salute, brother. What's good? What's good with the Blunts? Arnold Brown on deck. Yes, sir. AB in the building. WCS salute to you and the hottest chat in the MF game. A-side official. You already know Arnold. Big shout to Arnold on deck this morning. Should I say afternoon? Tyrese, what's good? What up, eating a fried catfish on brioche bun? Isn't that fitting? Man, y'all killing me, man. Hey, man, what better time, to eat some fish during chow, man? You know what I'm saying? To catch a live stream where it's all about the hot grease and having this fish fry continuing, you know what I'm saying, until we get this rematch. Or not. You know what I'm saying? Beef pig feet. Ugh. God damn, beef pig feet. Hell no. Ugh. Jesus Christ, man. What y'all on? So that's my take on that, man. I'm definitely gonna continue to keep y'all up to date on the mixed martial arts. I have to, because I'm doing myself a disservice by not talking about a art that I like very much. I love mixed martial arts. Real talk. I love it. I want to take you through some of the snippets of $1 million worth of game on what Shakur Stevenson was talking about. And then we want to transition over to Charlo versus Canelo, 11 days out. You know what I'm saying? Charlo versus Canelo is 11 days out. I don't know if y'all understand the significance of this fight, but it could be game changing. Game changing to the point where when you talk about, it's a wishbone when you look at it. You know what I'm saying? You have the Charlo side, you have the Canelo side. You know what I'm saying? And the scope of the victory is phenomenal. All right, and we're going to get to that. For both sides, is going to be phenomenal because it sets up something that could be historic that we've never seen in boxing before in this particular manner, in this nature of the sport. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you look at what's next, when this fight is over with. Who's able to earn the victory? Both fighters have a lot to gain by winning this victory. Not so much on Canelo's side as far as the hardware goes, because he's the champion. But when it comes to his next move, because let's truth be told, let's understand something. Canelo has pretty much accepted challenge after challenge after challenge. It's nothing new for him. He's fought on this level, but Charlo is a reigning defending undisputed super welterweight champion. He is. And also, Charlo has lost already. But when you go into a fight like of this magnitude, no one's really even thinking about your losses. They're just talking about the hardware that you currently have, just like Canelo facing Bivol. Everybody know Canelo was an undisputed champion at 68. You know what I'm saying? So it gave much more prestige to go up there and fight Bivol, who only had one belt. It was the prestige of it all. This is a prestigious fight for Canelo to fight Charlo and for Charlo to fight Canelo. It is, because both of them are undisputed. Now, the part that loses people is that Charlo belts is not on the line. Okay, let's get that straight. But when it comes to the prestige of it, of his appraising value is on the line. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of his appraising value is on the line. Why? Because he go over there and loses to Canelo. Let me hold that off until I get through this $1 million worth of game, because I want to highlight some points of Shakur Stevenson. I like what I see from Shakur. I like how he's willing to stand his ground in negotiation. I do. I always consider and recognize Shakur Stevenson as the emperor of boxing. Anybody who followed me long enough, I consider him to be the emperor of boxing because he's on the rise, man. He's definitely on the rise to take over. And, his takeover consists of what? His negotiation. You know what I'm saying? Upping his worth. He has to start somewhere. Like I always say, Shakur Stevenson has to start somewhere. And when you start letting people know you're serious, then they're going to take you serious. Not the game that I see playing. Something happened to one fight and then they want to make everybody else this, that, and the other. Hey, I like what he did. You know what I'm saying? I like what he did. But let's get down to this, with the Shakur Stevenson $1 million worth of. All right. And this is him talking to Gilly and Wallow, $1 million worth of gain. Shout out to them. That makes sense. When I listen to, him telling his side as far as them trying to say he was going to get 8 million and what Devin was going to make, and that Shakur would turn that down and make it seem like he's only turning it down because it was 25%. But not to mention, okay, we're clueless as to how much Shakur Stevenson made his last 3 fights, but Shakur knows what he made his last 3 fights. So therefore, he's turning down the percentage based off what the actual numbers would be once they step in the ring, once the contract is signed. And that's what we are we don't have access to do. We're not privy to that information all the time, like you just heard. And, like I said, I don't get into the numbers aspect, but the boxers have to get into the numbers. They do. And if Shakur is up here telling you all and telling everybody who would listen that it was way less than that, believe what Shakur is talking about, because I never seen any type of I never seen Shakur at no way, shape, or form like one breath to say he's a duck type of fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't when we talk about Shakur Stevenson, I don't see any fighter that's a duck. I don't see him having no bitch in it. I don't see any of that. It don't matter who he been in the ring with. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what rivalry he got. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see him as that guy. I've seen him in person. I've interviewed him, several times. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see it. I don't get that impression of him any way, shape, or form. But you all have also heard me talk about how I praise Tio for negotiating with the amount of fights that he had, right? And I do the same for Shakur Stevenson. Negotiate your worth. You know what I'm saying? Teofimo's up here negotiating his worth and standing strong on all 10 on the biggest fight of his career. And people up here, saying, oh man, what is he doing? He ain't did nothing, but he got it. Not only did he do it for the Lomachenko fight, he turned around and went the purse bid for the Cambozo fight. Now you have Team Haney allegedly, call themselves negotiating with Shakur Stevenson. And look, it's just all bad, because that would have been a very, very good fight if the money would have been right. You know what I'm saying? It would have been a grand fight. But I don't believe in making other people, innocent bystanders, pay for something that you had to involve yourself in to get the opportunity. That doesn't mean everybody else that's next up in line that you can make a pretty decent check off of should be punished for something another fighter had to go through. You know what I'm saying? What does Haney's contract with Cambozo has to do with Shakur Stevenson? You know what I'm saying? I understand where they're coming from. They want to be lopsided or whatever, but he's fought Lomachenko after that. For real, you fought Lomachenko after that. Now you're talking about Shakur Stevenson. So why does he has to go through the monetary freaking, I don't know what to call it. Like, why does he have to go through the headache of what happened to Australia? Y'all should just be able to negotiate and make it happen. It's like y'all fighting for the first time. This is a backstory like no other. You know what I'm saying? You have a history together. So a lot of people want to see y'all fight. That's my thing. A lot of people want to see them get it in, man. And it's almost like, it comes down to a money issue, and then people want to, because anybody who paid attention, these two been going at each other. The Haney's was going at Gervonta Davis, and then they was going at Shakur Stevenson, and it got nasty. Shakur said when he see Devin, he was gonna slap him, all that shit. But for them to try to say it was 25%, and it was 8 million just based off an example, that somebody was giving and all this other shit. Man, if you really want to fight, and it's a big fight, and you about to move up, man, you'll do what it takes to make that fight happen. That's a fight we want to see. Devin Haney, current reigning defending undisputed lightweight titles, and Shakur Stevenson. It would have been Shakur Stevenson fighting to dethrone Devin Haney from the undisputed status. What better fight you want? But now it's going to be more so Shakur Stevenson trying to find another opposition to fight for the vacant WBC title. At least they allow him to have the same opportunity, you know what I'm saying, to fight for a title in his third division, you know? And that's my bad, y'all. Somehow they said he couldn't hear the audio. Hold on for a second. That's my bad, y'all. I could have sworn. Hold on for a second. Damn. Hold on, man. Let me go back into it right quick. That's crazy how you don't switch up any type of audio. But all of a sudden, let me test this shit out right quick.
But I'm gonna say look at him and look at me though. I'm a way better fighter than him. He's not on my level.
Now I'm gonna say this: if you know you're a better fighter than him, I know money is money. You got money. You got a bag. You're not broke. Why not say, you know what? I'm gonna take that to beat your ass and take your whole.
I didn't say no. I went to another direction because that's the twist narrative. Because they only focus on one thing. I went another direction.
I should be good now.
Okay, I'm gonna enforce the WBC to do their
job. What's going on,
so I enforce my mandatory. Once I enforced my mandatory, this man gave up the belt and moved up to 140. Who is ducking who?
So let me go back a little bit.
I didn't say okay.
Since this
I hear y'all
appreciate your blunts.
offer. Cool. I'm gonna just go this route.
In your mind, I'm gonna flip it up. No doubt in your mind. You get in the ring. You beating Devin Haney. Now is another one after that.
Can y'all hear the
Let me
video?
ask you a question then. I'm gonna answer your question with a question. Do you have 2
But
hours?
why?
Yes.
Can you, pay attention to boxing? Look at him and look at me.
I actually got 3. I got 3rd out, but that's another story. But I'm gonna say
look at him and look at me though. I'm a way better fighter than him. He's not on my level.
Now I'm gonna say this: if you know you're a better fighter than him, I know money is money. You got money. You got a bag. You're not broke.
I'll check right quick since nobody responded. Okay, cool. It seems like it's playing. Just pay attention.
Why not say, you know what? I'm gonna take that to beat your ass and take your whole.
I didn't say no. I went to another direction because that's the twist narrative. Because they only focus on one thing. I went another direction. I said, okay, I'm gonna enforce the WBC to do their job. So I enforced my mandatory. Once I enforced my mandatory, this man gave up the belt and moved up to 140. Who is ducking who? I didn't say okay.
So y'all believe, you know, what Shakur? So Wallow asked him about, actually, do he believe he can beat Devin Haney? Which is one of those questions where, like I tell you, Shakur is sharp, man. The Shakur tip of the blade, man. When it comes to his mental psyche, dude is sharp, and it resonates in the ring. He said, "Let me ask you," which was an answer that was considered you know, depending on who you're talking to. He said, do you have two eyes? You know what I'm saying? So he's telling you all, without a doubt, he will defeat Devin Haney. That's how confident he is. You know what I'm saying? So he goes on to say, you know, that the man chose to move up to 140. So who's ducking who? I look at it like this. It's been said that Devin Haney's been at the division a good bit. And you know, when it, hold on for a second.
Listen, man, this is $1 million worth of game, man. Boxing is
Exactly.
you gotta.
He's been at the division for quite some time. And he didn't want to overextend his stay like Shakur Stevenson did at 130 and was forced to move up by losing his titles on the scale. So it's only, you know, maybe I'm looking at it like this. Maybe this was, you know, because when it comes to the Haneys, they do have a lot of attention that deals with social media, bro. You know what I'm saying? They always out here on social media. So you don't know what to believe sometimes. You can find out what you want to believe and what you don't have to believe. I don't know. It's just too much sometimes. It gets a little messy. But if they thought it was, the fight was of merit, quality, money, and it made sense, then we would have been on schedule to see this fight between Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson, which a lot of people would have paid attention to, because both of these individuals are undefeated. Both of them have been world champions. Devin is currently the man at 135 pounds. They would have listened. They would have paid attention. They would have leaned in closer to this fight. But, you know, he said Devin moved up to, you know, want to go to 140. Who's ducking who? I totally understand, bro.
He was not stopping.
And he was not stopping. He gave it everything he got.
Another 250,000. The whole situation. Me and you're not that big of a name, bro. You don't bring nothing to the table. I'm the name. So this how much the fight is worth. This man sat there in the DMs after I told him, look, I'm getting this much.
Let me go back. They're talking about Frank Martin. Hold up.
God has everything written down already. So I didn't say, okay.
No doubt in your mind. You get in the ring, you beating Devin.
Let me ask you a question then. I'm gonna answer
here
your question with a question. Do you have two eyes?
Yes.
Can you pay attention to boxing? Look at him and look at me.
I actually got 3. I got third eye, but that's another story. But I'm gonna say
look
this.
at him and look at me though. I'm a way better fighter than him. He's not on my level.
Now I'm gonna say this. If you know you're a better fighter than him, I know money is money. You got money. You got a bag. You're not broke. Why not say, you know what? I'm gonna take that to beat your ass and take your whole.
I didn't say no. I went to another direction because that's the twist narrative because they only focus on one thing. I went another direction. I said, okay, I'm gonna enforce the WBC to do their job. So I enforced my mandatory. Once I enforced my mandatory, this man gave up the belt and moved up to 140. Who is ducking who?
He said he went the WBC route. Do you think that's smart, people in the chat? Do you think that's smart for Shakur Stevenson to say, you know what? For me to make sure I get this fight, that I fight Devin Haney, I'm going to go to Mauricio Suleiman, the WBC sanctioned body, and I'm going to put in a request to be his mandatory. Then he says Devin Haney vacated the belt or what have you, and made his intentions clear that he was moving up to 140 pounds. That's smart, right? I told you, Shakur Stevens is pretty damn smart. You know what I'm saying? He's a smart dude. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes down to getting to the pot of gold, everybody does it different. I speak about how T.O. Aborted mission with the WBC tournament, supposedly that was going on 135-pound division, and went the IBF route to fight Nakatani for a title eliminator. Won it, fought Comey, got the title, the IBF, and then fought Lomachenko. He got to the pot of gold. You know what I'm saying? It took Devin Haney, who stayed put, a little bit longer. By that time, T.O. was already with the belts and everything else, considered to be the man at the 135-pound division while Devin was still holding on to the WBC belt. You know what I'm saying? But then he ended up getting it the way he got it. But I see the same thing going on with Shakur Stevenson. He took a different route. I like it. It's smart, intelligent, man.
I didn't say, okay, I hear y'all a little offer. Cool, I'm going to just go this route. I'm going to go this way. I do that, and then this man moves up to 140. I can't control what this man do. I can't control what other fighters do. Y'all clearly see there's a million people that don't want to fight me. There's a million fighters that don't want to get in the ring with me.
Is it frustrating sometimes, or do you ever say to yourself, I'm not going to get that big fight I deserve?
It's stressful. It's very stressful and frustrating because this is what I do for a living. I do this every day of my life. I love boxing. So at the end of the day, it's stressful, it's frustrating, but I believe in God, and I know that God has everything written down already. So what's happening right now is meant to happen, and what's going to happen in the future for me is going to happen the way that it's supposed to happen.
Your list. Who the top 5 fighters you want to fight right now? Be like, yo, what's it like right now? I want to fight y'all.
See, I think for Wallow, this has become a usual question for you. I think at this point in the interview, it's kind of off target a little bit because right now it doesn't go as deep as top 5 for Shakur Stevenson because he's one of the top guys. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the top guys. So his top 5 makes no sense because he's not going to really have any concern with fighting anybody outside his top 2. You know what I'm saying? Those top 2 has to be big enough names for him to make a decent purse. And really, when you think about the lightweight division, that's a little bit dim right now. You know what I'm saying? With everybody who is left, you know, with the Ryan Garcias, Teofimo Lopez, Rolly Romero, and now Devin Haney leaving the division. You know, yeah, you got the Keyshawn Davises, but you know, they're friends. You got Frank Martins over there. You know, you have some people there, Gervonta Davis, who I don't really mention his name because I don't know if that fight is so far out into the stratosphere that it'll ever come back down to earth. And we'll see Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta. I don't know, man. You know, because they're very strategic over there at Gervonta's camp. You know what I'm saying? How they move him. But, you know, just to say what's your top 5 is off target at this point in the interview because, you know, you're just talking about Devin Haney and him moving up. Once Shakur said he you know, wanted to be his mandatory and they vacated the belt. That does seem like a duck move though, because if you want to fight him, so it's not about money now. It's all about a straight line that you all are going to clash because now he's your mandatory and you got to fight him. And then, you know, the title is vacated and moving up to 140. And we already seen it in the video that was kind of leaked out with Shakur Stevenson. Bro, that is kind of a duck. And it's funny how I'm only being honest there, Team Haney. You know, it's kind of funny that, you know, you vacate the belt when you all and a lot of content creators went on a tour to say that Lomachenko had ducked Devin Haney by becoming the franchise champion. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was running with that narrative that Lomachenko ducked. And then, yes, you came full circle and got the win over Lomachenko. But yet and still, if Shakur Stevenson pretty much wanted to insert himself as your mandatory and make sure that he was going to get the fight, and you left, not only did you leave, you didn't stay not only did you vacate the belt, so to speak, you went to a whole nother division. And I can't really blame you on going to the division. It's just vacating the belt for me. Because if you were saying you was entertaining Shakur Stevenson with the offer, and y'all trying to say, well, no, it's not, it's, you know, he don't want it, this, that, and the other, but that's turns out not to be true. And then it get to a point where Shakur took a different route to make sure he's lined up. Hey, WBC, can you make me as mandatory, this, that, and the other? And then the belt is vacated now. Same thing that was Lomachenko was being accused of doing. But this would have been different because Shakur Stevenson actually would have been your mandatory. You know what I'm saying? When you fought Abdullayev, Zarir Abdullayev, I believe that was the guy you fought. You and him fought for an interim title. Y'all didn't fight for a title eliminated to fight Lomachenko. But anyway, let me keep it moving.
Number 1, Tank.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, number 1, Tank. Me and Tank is the best fight. I think that's the fight. And you could name 15 other fighters, but it's one fight that truthfully need to happen.
What's stopping that fight?
I don't know. I can't tell you. I'm not Tank at the end of the day. I'm gonna be like real. I'm a real nigga. So I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I'm not Tank. He's the big star. He's the pay-per-view star. I can't throw no offers to Tank. I'm not. Who am I to throw an offer to the biggest star in boxing? What I'm offering him? What? Like, it don't make sense. So, that was.
Here we go again. Shakur Stevenson making sense. Shout out to Shaw News. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Shaw News, the Sauce Experience, AK Showtime Shaw in the building. I see you on deck. You know what I'm saying? Toby says Devin and Bill would negotiate a really good deal with Eddie in the zone for the Progress fight. And it's only a one-off fight. So he'll be well paid to check out 140 and still have three of his belts. See, this is why I look at it like this, Toby. I don't find it smart for Devin to go at the 140 and think he's going to come back down to 135 just because he has 3 of the 4 belts. You know what I'm saying? That just don't make any sense because he's struggling right now. Devin is big in between fights. You know, Devin is a grown-ass man. You know what I'm saying? His body is holding more weight in between fights now. He is. So for him to keep on, you know, trying to, dangle the line, so to speak, and walk the tightrope and go back down to the lightweight division, knowing damn well that he's growing and he has grown and he holds more muscle now. It'll be tough for him to go back down to 35 and hold on to 3 belts. Get off the belts. Just get off the belts. You know what I'm saying? Come off the belts so other people in the division can start up something else so we can see if there's any other rivalries, you know, so we can see the up and coming young lions in the hunt. You know what I'm saying? That's going to get that title shot. That's all I'm saying. I mean, we got enough games in boxing. But Shakur Stevenson, you know, he made a very good point with that. I like what he said. What am I going to offer Gervonta? This man is on pay-per-view. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? He's on pay-per-view consistently. I'm not. What am I going to offer him that's going to appease them? You know what I'm saying? Just the fact that Gervonta gives you the shot, that's great in itself. You get an opportunity to go in there and display your skills. It's a dangerous fight for both fighters. Let's get back to it, though.
I had to be on their part, on their team to want to do that. I want to do it. I would love that fight. I think that's the best fight in boxing if we speaking like skills wise. He's not going to tell y'all that because however he be thinking, he think the way that he think. But me, truthfully, I think that's the best fight in boxing, and I want to prove to the world who I truly am. So you can name 5 fighters, but all them other dudes don't matter. There's one person I really got my mind on at the end of the day that I really want to fight when it comes down to it.
That's what I told y'all. Shakur, he said he has his mind on one person. All them other dudes don't matter. You know what I'm saying? But they about to get into that other dude that should have mattered, but he ended up eliminating himself outside of what really mattered. Truth be told,
You be training all the time. You so eager to fight, but it's like every time a fight pop up, it disappears.
Cause
What happened with Frank Martin?
he's a that is a straight. I never seen nobody more made than Frank Martin. Frank Martin is the most bitches in the world. Like I done
damn. Frank Martin pissed Shakur off. Like it's not the first time that I heard a fighter call another fighter a bitch. You know, I always talk about Teofimo Lopez calling Lomachenko a bitch with all the cameras rolling. This is just a one-on-one interview with a outlet, a segue, media segue. But you know, Teofimo did it on Fight Week. You know what I'm saying? In NYC, he did it on Fight Week. He called Lomachenko a bitch several times. You know what I'm saying? But I think Shakur Stevenson just trumped that. He said he the bitch ass nigga in the world. God damn it. And I guess he's about to explain why he feel the way he feel, bro. And like I said, you know, make sure you check out Shaw News. He did a superb breakdown of this, you know what I'm saying, previously. And make sure you go over there and sub to his channel.
DM this, mind you, I would never had that thought if I didn't have a DM conversation with the. I talked to this on the DMs. I explained this man, look, this is how much money the fight is. Me and you're not that big of a name, bro. You don't bring nothing to the table. I'm the name. So this how much the fight is worth. This man sat there in the DMs after I told him, look, I'm getting this much, you get this much. He tried to act like it wasn't 25%, but it is. He wanted 50-50. 50-50 or he's not fighting me. And it don't make sense. That don't make sense to me.
What y'all think about that? Frank Martin won 50-50. Okay, for me, not to sound like I'm contradicting myself, right? I say a fighter should negotiate as much money as possible because at the beginning of the day is business. When it comes to boxing, it's the beginning of the day is business. You hope by the end of the day that business has been completed and taken care of and both parties are satisfied, right? In this case, though, Frank Martin, Shakur is right. Like, he's the bigger name. He's accomplished more than you. We're talking about 2 weight divisions, man, 26 and 30. And this man has bigger names on his resume than you do. But for you to demand 50%, bro, that doesn't fall within the line of what I'm speaking about when I say negotiate your worth as a fighter. I'm just saying that because fighters are leaving the sport broke. They don't have retirement for health care and all this other shit. They don't have any type of stipend that's going to come to them monthly in order for them to just minimally be able to support themselves, even if they was living out of a car. Nothing is there for them. And then talk about all the residual injuries. Anyway, sticking back to the point, right? I just look at it like, Frank, you're not a big name like that. How can you go in there with Shakur Stevenson to my 50-50, bro? That's almost like purposely you price yourself out because you knew it was gonna basically get him inflamed. And he was gonna give you that energy that you're looking for. Like, bro, what are you talking about 50-50? You're talking about coming off an Artem fight? You're talking about coming off an Artem fight? And you're talking about 50-50 with Shakur Stevenson, who's a much bigger name than you? Bro, that makes no sense at all there, Frank. And you know what? I don't want to go the route. You know, I know my guy Shot News. I still hear it in my ear. I still hear it in my neck. Shot News say, you a sucker.
Like, why would I fight Frank Martin? He never won a title. He never been in he never done nothing in the sport of boxing.
No, I like Frank Martin as a fighter.
I
don't think that, in a purse dispute with you, I don't think he should get 50%.
He don't think that.
I'm gonna say this.
He just scared. He's not going to fight unless it's a cash out number. Just like other fighters, Lomachenko was offered the most money in his career to fight me. Why not fight me? The most you're older, is the end of your career. Why not take the most money in your career to fight in one of the biggest fights in boxing? Why not?
Is a purse dispute the new duck?
Yes.
That's a new form of ducking.
Yes, because
ask for something that you know you're not even on the level of getting. That's just the new way of saying I don't want to fight you.
I mean, honestly, you got to understand, like with Frank Martin. Let me explain this too, because I forgot to say this. I'm gonna tell you his person. I'm gonna be real about the whole situation. His highest payday was $250,000. We offered him $1 million. $250,000 4 times. That means we offered quadruple more than he ever made in his entire career. This man agreed, and I don't know if it was him who agreed. I think it was his team. His team agreed to the fight and then pulled out the fight. How is that not a duck? That means you're scared for your life, bro.
But would it be better? Would it be better for him not to fight you? Keep fighting dudes that are on your level. Get his jacket beefed up more, and still get the money without taking the L and taking $1 million.
Because guess what? He's gonna go fight. No, I disagree with that. Because his next fight, he's gonna go fight somebody probably never heard of and make another $250,000 or $275,000 when he could have been fighting me. But truthfully, when it really come down to it, I think fighters just don't believe in themselves.
Okay, Shakur said he thinks fighters just don't believe in themselves, and that might be right. But also I look at it like I'm trying to find out where Frank Martin's head is at, because like so many times he's with Man Down Promotions, right? Who's with TGB Promotions, because we found out a lot of this. Like I said, check out Shot News breakdown of this. So, he's basically paying out multiple entities, right? Frank Martin's paying out multiple entities. And at the end of the day, he probably found out when you dealing with the subtraction sign, that subtraction sign isn't your friend because it's called deductions. You know what I'm saying? Deductions goes with subtractions. And Frank Martin probably found out that the subtractions and deductions left him with a minimal amount of fluff that he can hold in one hand. And he didn't like that. Even though the number he was going to make was higher than what his 250,000, his biggest paycheck was. After it's all said and done, and you start to put the subtraction and the deductions together, that combination in tandem probably left Frank Martin feeling some type of way. You know what I'm saying? That clarity, that monetary clarity, it can be disappointing sometimes because you get the final number on what you're taking home. That's after Uncle Sam. You know, Uncle Sam gonna get his now first. Uncle Sam gonna get his, and then everybody else. So Frank, we could say that Frank looked at it like, okay, that's not that much money, but we find fighters in poor contractual agreements all the time. But where's this guy at? That guy called Errol Spence. Isn't he beneath your banner? I mean, why couldn't you get on the phone? I mean, come on. This is the first big fight for your fighter. I'm talking about of this magnitude. Why wasn't you being a voice? Where were you at? He's under Man Down Promotions. You went to his fight last year in December. I mean, you was there. You was dressed, you know what I'm saying, like a curtain, you know, like somebody's kid made freaking a curtain and shit and put some shit together in preschool. But anyway, that's when we see you there supporting your fighter, bro. Why couldn't you intervene in making this fight happen with Shakur Stevens? Because I didn't hear anything about you. I mean, bro, you couldn't assist. Okay, let's keep it moving.
Fighters don't believe it because
I mean, the only reason why, because I heard Frank say that he want to fight you,
but he don't believe in this.
But no, but I'm saying before even y'all was even talking
and he
about.
spoke on my situation.
Yeah,
that man spoke on my situation with me and Devin trying to chime in on his thoughts on the situation he don't know nothing about. And then now he in the situation and his goofy ass up and fold.
I'm gonna say this. He said something right. Fighters don't believe in themselves because them 31 fights that I lost, I always believed that I could win. I believed that I could win.
You couldn't.
It wasn't about that. It's about belief.
Man,
he said something very important. No.
Right. He got knocked out.
I thought I just needed that one win, but I beat the first 7, 31 I lost. But my whole thing is like this, though. It's like, he said something very important. They know, people be knowing what time it is. You see what I'm saying?
And let me say this.
They don't believe in
That's
themselves.
that's why you got to respect somebody like Errol Spence.
Exactly.
You got to respect him because he took a nice with it, man. Just keeping it real.
And he was not stopping.
And he was not stopping. He gave it everything he got, and then he activated his rematch clause.
Because he's a dog.
You gotta respect a like that. You gotta be like, dog, salute, because you really a dog. You really, bro. In boxing, bro, the worst thing you could do in boxing, bro, is go out on your stool. I don't want to fight no more. That's like the ultimate.
Not him. He didn't do.
What's good, everyone? Salute. My fault. Mom hit me up. But check this out. This what I don't get about Wallow. I mean, not Wallow, Gilly. Gilly said the worst thing you can do is go out on your stool, right? Go out on the stool. And I'm saying to myself, truth be told, it's been some individuals that went out on their stool because they did everything Errol Spence did prior to Harvey Dock stopping the fight. They might have been in a much tougher fight, and they found within themselves they couldn't break the rhythm. They couldn't disrupt the rhythm enough to gain momentum, change the current of the fight. They couldn't do it. They tried, but they were still taking punishment. Perfect example, Hector Luis Garcia, Gervonta Davis. Garcia walked over to his corner. He didn't come out the corner for the next round. Why? Because he couldn't see out of his right eye. Does that mean that's the worst thing he could do? No, he had no other choice but to do it. He had no other choice but to do it. So I don't agree with, Gilly, I was in the process of trying to look up his box rec and couldn't find it. But Gilly, you have to understand that's, bro, I understand y'all podcast. I get it, bro. But how can that be the worst thing a fighter do if you're not the one taking damage? I remember Buddy McGirt up there pleading with Maxim Delashev. No, Max. I can't let you back out there, Max. Max, I can't do it, Max. I can't do it. Max is ready to go back out there and fight. And he would have went back out there and fought Matias. He would have died in that ring. But he was afforded the opportunity to split the ropes and leave, and then he went into a coma. He fell out and went into a coma and died. You know what I'm saying? Max's freaking mindset was pretty much to fight for his family, to go in there and be a warrior, because he was taking a lot of punishment. And we can point the finger at a lot of people who, referee rather, who let the fight go on as long as it did. But Max was on the stool. There's been plenty of fighters that's on the stool. So I don't agree with, that's the worst thing you can do is go out on your stool. Bullshit. That's bullshit, bro. That's bullshit. You know, boxing is tough, man. Boxing is freaking tough. Seriously, boxing is tough. Combat sports in general is tough. But what's even tougher as a fighter, in my opinion, is them listening to people that's not really competing on the professional level or the elite level to tell those fighters what is tough and what isn't tough. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
Do that.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, even when the ref was like, Errol was like, what you mean? Like, good dog, it's over, bro. He had a better night than you tonight. You gotta respect Shakur, because don't a call tank out and just trying to get a payday. Know they going to sleep. He really think he gonna win. It's a difference. You gotta respect Boots, because
and see, this is Shakur interview, and then they bring Boots. I get it, bro. You know, for part of me, I'm like, okay, you $1 million worth of game. I get it, because support the black fighter in your hometown. I get it. And it took me a while to kind of figure this, you know what I'm saying? Like, I felt some type of way because you have other fighters that's not in your backyard, but yet you want to call up other fighters and try to throw it in Crawford's attention, you know, his lap for attention, and get him to respond to it without really informing him that's what you was about to do. So it kind of was, you know, I felt kind of perturbed a bit to hear this go down the way it did, because I say it's a better way to do this. And then he gets on there, Boots gets on there and talking about he been looking for him for 2018. This interview right here has nothing to do with Boots. Boots is going to be that star. Seriously. Boots isn't a star right now because his resume does not signify that. He doesn't have the stamp of approval per his resume. It will get there, but just because he stopped Ramon Villa doesn't stamp him as being this superstar, period. But Gilly, I understand that's your boy, you supporting the fighters in your backyard. And look, Gilly, you and Wallow are doing more than people that was basically established before you all started your podcast. You know what I'm saying? So I commend you that, because it's content creators that they haven't even talked about Boots as much as y'all have. So I really commend you all for that. But it's a Shakur Stevenson interview, though. Boots and Shakur Stevenson in two different weight classes. Shakur is at 35, Boots is at 47. I mean, it has nothing to do with anything. Shout out to Trick Note in the building. My guy, the Oracle, is on deck. Fighters don't believe in themselves. Promoters and their managers not sure he can win. The fighters want to protect his zero. And fighters going to the barbershop and being heckled by barbers all duck. True words, man. It's a lot that these fighters have to deal with in this flow of traffic. You know what I'm saying? Look, y'all have to understand, it's just not the physical traffic as if you're buckling up and getting in your vehicles. I'm talking about the traffic that you have to deal with mentally, psychologically. That's traffic right there can cause more accidents than what you may experience when you buckled up behind the wheel and driving down the local boulevard. I'm being real about it. Your mind is always with you. You know what I'm saying? Your vehicle, you can park it and leave it where it's at, and then you get back to it. But your mind is going to go from place to place. And what your eyes is able to do is allow you to basically visualize certain things. And that's traffic. When you listen to certain things, when you see certain things on social media, that's more and more traffic than what I had to deal with growing up. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have freaking all this shit. But anyway, to stay on topic, shout out to Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. The OG on deck. What's good with it? Don on deck. What's good? Toby say, in my opinion, there's a big difference in quitting and stopping and being sensible and fight another day. Remember, Vitaly Klitschko elected not to go back out and face Chris Bird when Vitaly was way ahead on the scorecards. He had an injury and had to quit. Yeah, I don't agree with Gilly. I mean, Gilly. Yeah, for sure, Trick. For sure, dog. Let me get back to this, though.
Bud is a bad mother. But Boots would take that fight at the drop of a dime. Like, let's go. Because I'm willing, if you beat me, on that night, I'm willing to say you a bad mother.
Facts.
But see, Gilly. Listen, brother. Listen. And one thing I can say about Gilly is an intelligent individual. I have to say that he's a different type of dude, right? And it's good to see them with podcasters taking off so quickly. You know what I'm saying? Sitting at 1.737 million subscribers. Shout out to them. They have a lot of supporters behind them. This boxing game has levels, though. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. It does. And you making this about, you know, Boots and really what you want to lead to is Crawford and this, that, and the other. Crawford doesn't need Boots. Right? Crawford doesn't need Boots, just like he said he didn't need Errol Spence. Truth be told, that Gilly. Boots go in there and lose to Crawford. Crawford's not going to get any credit like you think he is. Why? Because Boots wasn't established to begin with. I know when it comes to the placement, that's what you're looking at, the placement. Boots is next in line for one of Crawford's belt if, you know, he's able to get that shot as the IBF mandatory. We get it. But Crawford going in there and defeating Boots is not going to say you're a bad man because Boots never fought anybody like Crawford. That's absolutely FACTZZ, busy facts. You know what I'm saying? With 4, 5, 6, 7 Z's on the busy facts. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Crawford's been in the ring with bigger names. So he's not going to look at this and say, oh man, you know, I appreciate you saying that. No, he already considered himself to be a bad mofo. So Boots saying, hey man, you a bad mofo. It don't matter. Crawford's going to be like, I know. You see what I did to EJ? I've been him. See what I did to Kell Brook? Saw what I did to Sean Porter? You saw what I did the rest of the dudes in the what? Man, I've been him. I believed in myself. Back to it though.
Facts.
You got me.
Facts.
You feel what I'm saying? And that's really what sports is about. The best playing the best fighting the best against the best. And then at the end of the day, we might talk. Him and Tank, they go back and forth. They had a dispute. I guarantee you, after they get in that ring and they throw punches at each other, when that bell go ding, they both gonna go. Because it's a sign of respect. Like, no, we gotta hear you a dog too. So at the end of the day, man, this is about selling fights and making money.
That's it. While your time is here.
Stage, y'all gotta capitalize to make the
most money in your life
that y'all can possibly make, man.
But it's hard to do that when everybody is scared.
This episode of $1 Million Worth of Game.
That's how it go. You go in there, you have Dev go in there, he get rocked with one punch by Linares and do a little walk over to the corner, get it together. He cool the rest of the fight.
But they still looking at that like, I got a shot at him.
Boots go in there, he fighting that ran for 12 rounds straight. I'm talking about nonstop.
That's different though.
This was in the best shape of his life.
That's different though.
You feel what I'm saying? He won every round and just talk shit like.
Nah, but people still knew Boots was a
dangerous.
Yeah, but still the media still talk.
For sure.
He didn't put on the performance. Bro, I just fought
that's the life we live.
Another professional grown man that didn't throw no punches, didn't give me no opportunities for counter punches, and all he did was run from side to side.
And then he get in there with Vila. I'm gonna say this.
He smoked.
But hold. Well, let me say this. We was in the back when it was over. This boy Vila, he's a different type of monster. He wasn't taking the wheelchair. He just was on some. He was a savage, man. Seeing that fight and seeing how he just kept going.
And that's a perfect example. Alone, he's done shit that Floyd makes. He the greatest fighter of all time.
I mean,
if it come down, so if Terrence Crawford fight 10 more times and he go 50-0 and 2-time undisputed champion and a champion 3-weight division champion because he had a belt at 135, is he the greatest fighter of all time?
I mean, yeah, I would say.
What if
eyes, yeah.
Listen.
So the question was posed: is Terrence Crawford the best of all time if he goes in there and defeat Canelo Alvarez, who is current super middleweight undisputed, being the Terrence currently in possession and ownership for life, as a 2-time undisputed. He's the first male fighter to ever do it. When you do things first, it's a quicker ticket to the Hall of Fame. It's a quicker ticket to the conversation amongst the boxing fans, to put you in the pantheon of boxers in the sport. Real talk. It's a ticket. It's a one-way ticket, because when in boxing, when you have your accolades, you have your accolades. You know what I'm saying? They never go anywhere. So it's not a round trip ticket. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you go there and then you removed. You know what I'm saying? When you go to the Hall of Fame, you there. So therefore, he gets a one-way ticket to the pantheon of boxing based off what his accomplishments is. So if he goes up there being the first man to become 3-time undisputed, is he the greatest ever? And that would be, and Shakur's answer would be, yeah, he is. Because when you do things for the first time, and then people want to act like they're afraid to supersede what Floyd Mayweather has done in his career. I get where you coming from, bro, because a lot of you all are stagnant in just remembering how much of an entertaining prize fighter Floyd Mayweather was, from Pretty Boy to Money. He man, really, when Floyd Mayweather was stepping into the ring, people was like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? You know, like, damn, we got Floyd coming back. We got Floyd on that. We got Floyd on that. But you have to be able to switch it up. You have to be able to transfer over to new and better things. You have to be willing to update your information. And right now we live in a different era where you have different faces out here that's doing big things in boxing. You have the Canelos, you have the Terrence Crawfords, you have the Gervonta Davis, you have individuals that's doing big things, Teofimo Lopez. So therefore, you know, you have to be willing to commit to yourself and say, well, I think yes, yeah, no doubt. I believe that's it. He'll be the greatest ever. And then you have to think about all the other great fighters that people look at. And back then, they was fighting on a much higher frequency and much bigger names back then than we have today. You know what I'm saying? Boxing has changed over the time, but Shakur said, yeah, he believes he's the greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying? If he's able to accomplish the Canelo win.
What if Terrence Crawford don't go 50-0? What if he go 44-0? But he go 44-0. Okay, Floyd, you got 6 more fights. You said Floyd is the best fighter in your eyes. Floyd, you got 6 more fights than me, but I got 10 more belts than you.
I mean, like I said with Bud, I think when it comes to Bud, I think a lot of people took credit away from a lot of his wins. Like, I feel like when they kept throwing it out there that he didn't fight nobody.
Well, he didn't.
I disagree with that.
Bro.
I disagree with that.
Why do people hope? Why do people say that?
That logic is terrible.
No,
anybody you get in the ring with is a chance.
So Gilly said he didn't fight nobody. Once again, you have a host, and I've been searching for his box rec. Can't find him on Wallo's freaking professional, fight record. I'm saying I'm pretty sure he's talented in a lot of other areas, but I wasn't able to find it. So they saying that Bud Crawford didn't fight nobody. When him and Errol Spencer's resume at welterweight is pretty much what the topic of discussion was leading up to July 29th. But prior to that, what he was able to accomplish, you know what I'm saying, at other divisions is nothing different than what other fighters have been able to accomplish. You know, we're not taking these fighters out of a freaking laboratory and cloning, with clones and going on here and establishing them with a box rec that no one remembers. And they come in here, 30-0 and they got these names that no one remember the fights. They say, hey, they legit. And Crawford can go out there and fight them along with anybody else. And then put all these undefeated fighters on their record. You know what I'm saying? That's just not the way the world works. We're not getting fighters, these murderers off the laboratory hybrids and putting them in the ring to fight these fighters and they're ranked. We're not getting 1 through 15 in the rankings and all 15 of those are killers. So for Gilly to sit up here and say that Crawford didn't fight nobody, what are you talking about? Nobody, because you have to look at boxing. Boxing allows minimal prerequisites for fighters to become a professional. And then when you have fighters who are trying to make it up the ladder, right? And they suffer one loss and how boxing just put them on the shelf or allow them to come back and fight somebody different. It all depends on who you sign with, the connection and all that. It can get extremely difficult for a fighter to continue to progress in the sport, man. So just to say that we're talking about welterweight to welterweight, and people's up here saying that, well, when Errol Spence fought him, they was never the same. Even though Kell Brook coming off a loss to Gennady, right? Then Sean Porter coming off, barely squeaking out. I mean, look, Sean Porter barely squeaked off a loss from a split decision. But yet, when Crawford fight him, is that they was trash. Not the same stamp of approval you're going to put on Errol Spence and saying when they fought him, they pretty much was done after that. No, that's pretty much what we can say about Crawford too. But when he fights the fighters that they want to give credit to on his resume, it's like, oh, they weren't shit to begin with. But when Errol fought these fighters, oh, they was on their way out the door. They was a shell of themselves and they weren't shit. So Gilly has to come off this. You know, a lot of people outside of Gilly too, they have to come off to my hand fight nobody. And it's good that Shakur Stevenson is making it known that that's the dumbest analogy that you can give.
He didn't fight nobody that was on that level. That's what we saying.
No,
Not he didn't fight.
That shit don't mean nothing.
You can get him up ring with a C+ fighter, and if he clip you good enough, you can go to sleep.
No.
So he fought somebody.
No.
But come on, bro.
I think he fought people.
Julius Ndongo.
We can't. You named the worst person on the resume.
Victor Postal.
That's a bad name.
That ain't a good. That ain't a.
During that
In
time,
order to say,
I'm saying during that time when he.
Yeah, Shakur talking about doing that time. Smart. During that time, Victor Postal wasn't there to play with. Why was he undefeated? If he was garbage, why didn't somebody else recycle that garbage before Crawford? Why? If he was garbage, seriously, if he was garbage, why wasn't somebody else recycling that garbage? If Gamboa was garbage, why didn't anybody else recycle that garbage before Crawford? You can't continue to allow these undefeated fighters to step in the ring with Crawford and say that they was garbage to begin with, but yet nobody else recycled that garbage prior to him getting the fight.
He fought him.
he was overhyped.
He was overhyped. What? He had
Victor Postal is like this. Dog, you know you talk to a boxer, right?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
a boxer.
Victor Postal's like this.
A lot of people couldn't deal with that. A lot of people can't deal with that style. A lot of people can't deal with that style.
Can't deal with that.
Come
A
on,
lot
man.
of people can't deal with that boxing style. He's jumping up in the air. He's a boxer, know how to use his range and his distance. A lot of people can't deal with that style.
But okay, in order for me, this how I look at it. In order for me to say, you know, you beat top tier, you got to say, okay, well, what did they do in the sport?
No, you can't, because let me tell you what the problem is. Now, this is where everything's get messed up. Hold up. This is where everything gets messed up. When after somebody fights Bud Crawford, fight is not the same. So you can't judge what they done after they fought Bud Crawford because he done messed them up.
Okay.
Mentally, physically.
Well, maybe you know more than me on that tip.
That's all I'm trying to tell you.
So
He know more than you because he's a fighter, Gilly. You know what I'm saying? I know you and I are somewhat in the same position, you know, but he knows more than you because he's a fighter. And he's one of those fighters that looks at film. You know, you can tell when he's in the ring. If Crawford's team and Crawford himself looks at film and they study different styles, and Shakur Stevens is a close protege of Crawford, and he's learning. He's soaking it all in. He's a young lion, a sponge. I mean, come on. Of course, he's gonna know more than you when it comes to this fight game because he's the fighter, and he's demonstrated that his boxing IQ extends outside of the ropes also to prepare him for his performances when he do split the ropes to get it in.
So you saying Errol Spence not gonna be the same in his next fight?
I'm not disrespecting Errol like that. I'm just saying, as far as in the past history, that I done seen.
Well, he just fought Bud though. He just fought Bud. You say anybody that fight Bud, they done.
You just said anybody that
different.
fight Bud.
They different. They
Don't be backing down.
Hey, look,
You told me to ask you to bring.
Errol is my brother, so I'm
That's
not,
my brother too.
So I'm sticking. You feel me? I'm sticking that way. But
And this is where it gets a little funny because, you know, Shakur did say when people fight Bud, they're not the same. So therefore, Errol has fought Bud, and it does kind of bleed over to basically posing that question: is he going to be the same? Is Errol Spence going to be the same after fighting Bud? Now even a more underlining question is Errol Spence is gonna, is the fight even gonna happen? First of all, that's the biggest question mark of them all. And we want to make that pliable to straighten it up into an explanation mark and say the fight is absolutely happened since he enacted his rematch clause. So we don't know just yet. But per what they was going through on here, based off what Shakur Stevenson said about, once Bud fight a fighter, he's never the same. Hey, we don't know that. I'm definitely not gonna say that about Errol Spence because, hey, clones, they can get that data downloaded back into them via the neural link, and they can come in there and be better than what they was the first time. So let's just say whatever happened in the first fight with Bud, it didn't happen because clone can get all that erased and updated and reconfigured, and we can get a whole nother Errol Spence at 154 or 47 or whatever the case may be. Real talk.
I just feel like anybody that fought Terrence Crawford, after they fight him, they're not the same fighter.
Terrence versus Floyd in their prime.
Whew, hell of a fight. I can't give you an answer.
What you mean? You got to give me an answer.
I can't.
You supposed to give.
Then you got somebody like Bud that's a great boxer, but he got power in both hands, could switch, and he's a southpaw. But Floyd is the smartest fighter that I probably ever seen in the history of boxing. It's hard to give you a real answer.
But they say at the age you are now, right? They say when Floyd Mayweather was that age, he got hit with 8% of the punches thrown at him.
Yeah.
They say you get hit with 4% of the punches thrown at you.
Now my defense crazy though. I got great defense.
I was watching one fight, you ain't get hit with a jab until the 6th round.
For real. I believe it. Like I said, I got great defense.
Talk.
Name the number.
Got a small.
Come on, man.
Oh damn!
He was there by the gallery.
He was downtown.
He took a video by City Hall.
Yeah, he was right there by the Prudential. He wasn't doing it. But look, he called me out. I answered the phone call. Frank pulled out. Next best available opponent is Edwin De Los Santos. He's a fighter with big power. He's strong. He's a southpaw.
Did he fight anybody?
Yeah, I mean, he ain't fight nobody to my level.
See, that's what I'm saying. He's saying y'all say that nobody fought.
What's his record?
He's under. No. He's 16-1. 16-1. But I'm gonna tell you now. Go watch him before y'all judge.
No, I ain't
We're not judging him. We just saying.
Listen though. He's a solid fighter. Strong power. Dominican got good boxing skills, good reflexes, but he's not gonna be able to beat me.
Man, what's going on with you and Bill Haney, man?
Man,
Bill I don't know who put the video out of Bill saying, if you get too hot, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
I really don't want to get into the Bill Haney situation. I just wanted to talk about Frank Martin. So if they're off that, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to relieve myself from that because I'm not trying to go into the Bill Haney situation back and forth. I just really wanted to highlight the Frank Martin situation. And unfortunately for Frank Martin, I think is off target, real talk, for you that request 50-50, being that you're in the process of building up who you are in the sport of boxing. It's just off, bro. I really can't co-sign that. I'm not trying to come at you any different than I would anybody else, but at the end of the day, you getting 50-50 to Shakur is asinine. Real talk, it's asinine, bro. It's called negotiation. And if you unwilling to negotiate, you just come in there, no, I want 50%. I mean, you can't, if you felt that you was trying to prove a point to Shakur Stevenson, who they say that was going to Devin Haney like that, well, Shakur, he might be looking at it from a different perspective and saying, well, you know what I'm saying? I got 2 divisions as a champion. I'm a multi-time world champion right now. So I can go in there and trying to, drive that stake in the ground and say, I want 50-50. But you, Frank Martin, your slate is clean, brother. Your table is empty. You have dinnerware set up, but what entrees have you had on there previously that still sits with your box rec that people can look at you and say, okay, I respect that. You're not there yet. You can't do that off Michelle Rivera. You can't brag about Jackson Marinez. You can't do it. I mean, you can't do it, brother. You just can't go that route. That's all I'm saying. And I think you really should have took the fight with Shakur Stevenson because it would have proved to a lot of people what level you on. And you're an older cat too. You up there. You know, Shakur is getting up there too, but he's already got 2 divisions in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? That is archived, that is recorded, that ain't going nowhere. So the more and more he fights, the more leverage he has. So, you know, I separate Shakur negotiation with Devin Haney than I do you and him. You know what I'm saying? Shakur has much more leverage based off his accolades than you, because your accolades is still, you know, they haven't made their arrival yet. They're Frank. So that's why you have people calling you a sucker out here, because, you know, you should have just looked at it from, this is your coming out fight. This is what we needed to see from Frank Martin. And, you know, we looking at that last performance as being mediocre. We didn't like it. It wasn't trifling, but we just didn't look at it in a way like the energy you was giving Keyshawn Davis. You know what I'm saying? I like Frank Martin too. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when it comes to this critiquing fighters from the outside looking in, it can get very, you know what I'm saying? It can get very foggy a bit. You know what I'm saying? It can get foggy with people's giving their opinion on what they see from the outside looking in. It can get foggy. I ain't gonna lie. It can get very, very messy, muddy. And God damn it, Frank Martin, you did that. Now, no one has an idea, a clue on what direction you're gonna fight next, who you're gonna fight next. They have no idea, man. Outside of Shakur Stevenson, who else in the lightweight division that'll make sense besides Keyshawn Davis? If you fight Keyshawn Davis next, which just isn't going to happen, people come see that. But people, you know, fight fans ain't looking at that fight. It's nowhere on the horizon, bro. Nowhere on the horizon. Seriously. Shout out to Samuel on deck. I see you in the building, brother. Toby said, I knew Shakur had great defense, but only 4% of the punches getting through. That's crazy and got to be demoralizing for the other fighter. When you watch him fight Conceição, right? I was telling people how Shakur was leaning back at the waist, right? When he was fighting Oscar Valdez, how Shakur was leaning back at the waist and was barely out of punch range. That is something he's been practicing. And you will see Bud do that also. Bud will execute that same type defense. Sometimes Bud will use his feet when he need to use his feet. But when you actually pay attention to, once Bud start to calibrate the distance of his opposition, he will move back less and less so he can be able to land that counter shot effectively with a shorter window every single time. So he too would just be right out, and you'll see him kind of lean back right at the end of a punch, and then he'll shoot that punch right down and hit the target quick, you know. And Shakur Stevenson, you can see how he's been practicing and polishing up that defense. And listen, anybody who's saying that Shakur is boring because he's in the hit and not get hit, you're stupid. It's boxing. It's hit and not get hit, because you can be Devin Haney dominating a fight into the 10th round, and people know you was dominating the fight, and then you get caught, and now all of a sudden, you know, every time somebody want to talk about your resume, you find yourself, you know, hearing Linares' names just like Crawford hear Gamboa's name. You know what I'm saying? Even though Gamboa did not, you know, put Crawford in a situation, I don't think it was worse than Devin Haney being hit by Linares, but the fact that he was dominating that fight with Linares and he got caught. Yes, he was on wobbly legs walking back to the ring, but he never hit the canvas though. You know what I'm saying? He never hit the canvas, but Ryan Garcia's been on the canvas. Teofimo Lopez on the canvas. You know what I'm saying? Vasil Lomachenko, canvas. Cambozo, canvas. All of them have been a part of the Canvas University, bro. They've been on the Canvas University. But when you talk about Crawford, you know, all people look at is Gamboa, is Kavaliauskas. So look, at the end of the day, if Shakur's up here talking about, I wanna go back to the old school, hit and not get hit, and be a pure boxer, and people admire me for taking less punishment, so I can. If Shakur want to get up to the point where he's in his 30s and he want to box the 40s, and his body and mind is preserved, and he ain't took that much punishment, then kudos to him, bro. Kudos to him, man. That's the way it's supposed to be. That fight Thursday night, November 16th, is at the T-Mobile Arena. Man, Frank Martin, that was supposed to be your headlining the T-Mobile Arena, Frank. Hey, man. Shot News is goddamn stumping in his big black boots, man. Goddamn. Love right, love right. Goddamn Shot News talking about, and that is the news. Shot News. Love right. Dar said, you can tell the way they introduced Bud. They're hating from the jump. Yeah, they have this thing about Bud. Like, listen, truth be told, man, I don't know if I mentioned this before. Truth be told, I would rather be less of a less accessible. Like what, how people just automatically look at a person that's reserved, not so much standoffish, but in this case, let me say standoffish early in his career. So people might have put that on Bud's not being, accessible, not so much unapproachable, because I never experienced the unapproachable part, accessible. So they find him as being an easy target because he give you that retro throwback type look. He don't give a fuck what you think. He ain't walking around no suits and shit. He ain't trying to be media friendly, but he still got his shit popping behind the scenes, and that's enough for him. I get it. That's where I'm at with it. For Gilly, them, I don't know why they're jumping on the bandwagon for a fighter who never did anything to them. That's what's puzzling to me. Like if Crawford would have went on there and he was being an asshole to Gilly them previously or something, and then all of a sudden he was getting a big fight, and he's doing promo rounds. You know what I'm saying? He's doing his media tour. Now he comes back to Gilly and Wallow, and they remember the first time he was on there. I can see, but they just feel like, oh, once again, they didn't learn anything from the Crawford Errol Spence situation. All they doing is on the outside looking in is that they want Errol Spence to be the more popular fighter. Now that Crawford's proved that he's better than Spence, now they want to continue to push for Boots Ennis. In order for them to do that, they got to continue to downplay Crawford's achievements. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to do that. They can when they gave him some compliments in this freaking this video, you know what I'm saying? Like this stream, this interview with Shakur, they gave Crawford his flowers, but yet they pretty much attempted to cancel all that out by saying he ain't fought nobody prior to. You know what I'm saying? So they was up here saying the same shit. Oh, you ain't fought nobody. You ain't fought nobody. But yet they're pushing Boots who ain't fought nobody. You're saying that Crawford ain't fighting nobody up to Errol Spence. But yet, listen, but yet they're pushing Boots ain't fought nobody as if he's ready, he's there, fight Boots. Why aren't you pushing Boots the same way and saying he ain't fought nobody? He should fight somebody. At least Crawford fought a Kell Brook or Sean Porter prior to, and both of them was common opponents of Errol Spence. So why sit up here and act crazy, man, and hit the brakes on something? That's the wild part about it too when it comes to the rematch of Errol Spence and Crawford, because people refusal to identify what played out July 29th is way more stressful on them, right? It's way more stressful on them, yo. Because they're trying to basically paint the picture with a very large brush, and all that brush has on it, they want to put some black paint all over the picture, so they really can't see what actually was painted, the Picasso that was painted by Crawford on July 29th in the T-Mobile massacre. They don't want to see all that red paint. They don't want to see the freaking figures that was sitting on their ass and the fighter that was constantly getting off the canvas. They don't want to see that. So they just paint it all in black and let it dry. And then we're going to start this over and paint it the way I want it to. No, that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? You're not being honest with yourself. It's way more stressful for you to pretend that the situation didn't happen July 29th rather than you just admit that it did happen. And I never let this ride how people were saying that Crawford need to do this, that. And then you turn around and now they're saying Boots, he deserve. Come on, man. What happened? I didn't hear that with Crawford. He deserved. No. It's like he need to fight this person. He need to fight that person. He need to fight that. Now Boots is in line. They want to say, okay, let me get the next guy that we want to consider the more popular fighter. He deserve. D1 on deck. What's good with it? It was going to be another T-Mobile massacre, just like his daddy Arrow. Man, I wonder if Arrow even would have showed up to the fight. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if Arrow would have even showed up to the fight like he did December 2022. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, Shaw News. You feel me? I mean, I'm wondering. But, you know, shout out to Shakur Stevenson, man, doing his thing. I like Shakur Stevenson as a boxer. You know, I'm glad to see these cats. I'm glad I'm still coherent enough to be able to experience these cats and their achievement in this era. Really, it's been some really nice, some grand fights right here, you know, that we're being able to experience, especially me being the year I was born and what I was able to see growing up and the fights I was able to witness up to now. Yeah, it's great, but I don't think this freaking, you know, Crawford situation is going anywhere anytime soon. And let's talk about the situation I was mentioning earlier about Canelo and Charlo, right? So for them to include Crawford is huge. And I'm including Crawford with hope. You know what I'm saying? I'm treading lightly on that because ultimately, just because Canelo defeat Jermell Charlo doesn't mean automatically he's gonna find within himself to acknowledge Crawford as the next opponent. When he has the power to do that, he can do that. It depends on what the conversation's like, right? You know what I'm saying? The buzz. People, this is how boxing plays out. But we never had a situation like this, though, when Canelo has the opportunity to fight one undisputed fighter and then has the opportunity to fight the other. Now let's be honest with ourselves, man, and stop with the bullshit. How much higher when it comes to 3 versus 2? In real life, you know damn well if you was negotiating a paycheck and they say, hey, we're going to give you $3, okay, instead of $2. That's a huge amount. That's what Eddie Hearns, that's what Anthony Joshua then was doing to Deontay. We giving him more than he ever made in his career. You know what I mean? He was making, he made this in his career. We're going to give him $5 more. That's the most he's ever made in his career. Right or wrong, it's not rubbish. It's facts. So you have to look at 3 versus 2. Is that such a significant difference when we already know that Crawford and Errol Spence is pretty much 154 pounders? You know what I'm saying? Is it that much of a difference? We have to hold Canelo accountable. We do. We have to hold Canelo accountable because you're willing to face Charlo coming up from 54, but you're saying it's too small. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Crawford is too small, and he's pretty much doing the same thing Charlo's doing. So let's look at the Canelo situation. Canelo, you going in here in 11 days to face Jermell Charlo, who's moving up 2 weight divisions, who has no attendance record. He has no attendance record at 168 pounds. like a lot of other your other fighters that you fought. He has no attendance record. Callum Smith had attendance, Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Plant. Plenty of other fighters had attendance records at 160, 68 pounds. He has none at 60, none at 68. You're about to fight him. 11 days. So therefore, we're talking about Eddie Reynoso going in there against Diddy James. It is very easy for me to say that I don't see Jermell Charlo winning this. I know a lot of people, a lot of black content creators is saying that, oh, I'm not gonna not cast, I'm not gonna cast 0% that he has a chance to beat Canelo. I'm not gonna say that. I think he has a chance. Okay. People's mindset are different. People's mindset are different. I just look at everything on how a person reacts. Is someone all about the smoke? What have their conversation or reaction been to other sidebars about challenges that was presented to them? And all I heard Jermell Charlo do is tell me he was busy. That rubs me the wrong way, because you're not willing to accept the challenge. Like when I was coming up, there was a lot of fighters that told you, I'll fight them. I don't give a damn about that. I'll fight them. Don't worry about it. I'll fight them. I will fight them. But he cannot stick to his word. He went on this promo tour and he pretended like he wanted to fight freaking, Bud Crawford. I want to give the fans what they want. And then we heard that he won't just leave me alone. He sound like Michael Jackson up in this motherfucker. And then you got Canelo. Canelo is established, right? He's the undisputed titleist, the crown holder, right? So a lot of people believing that Canelo and Eddie Reynoso would get this done against Jermell Charlo. I don't know which fashion, right? Because Jermell Charlo doesn't have a history of being chinny. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have a history of just quitting. None of that. He doesn't give me that. But that doesn't mean I can't say that I think Jermell Charlo is in over his head to a point because of his mindset. Seriously, his mindset is telling me like all of a sudden you're forced into a position to lock in with Canelo. Canelo's already been there. Canelo's mindset is to lock in. When he goes and take a risk with Bivol, he's basically committed, right? When he goes out there to fight Sergey Kovalev, he's basically committed. He's committed to taking these fights, man, and doing what he has to do. But when it comes to, these other fighters, I just don't want to say black fighters, but it's always seemed like, oh, man, we got to start a verbal jousting match online first. We have to get orientated with social media and destroy each other's credibility before we actually commit to saying, I'll fight you. We got to go through the social media storm. We got to create all this friction online. And then either the fight get made or not made. But with Canelo, you don't hear that. Canelo, he locks into a fight. Okay, so-and-so fighting Canelo. Cool. You wasn't the first choice, but you the second choice. And that's why it's hard for me to give Jermell credit on going ahead and getting this done and linking up and getting this right with Canelo and picking up the win. Now, truth be told, Canelo defeat Jermell Charlo. He doesn't have to give him a rematch. It's a one and done. Canelo has a Charlo on his record. Everybody that goes down in history know he moved up from 154 to 60, and they're going to look at it like, okay, he's lost before. He got outboxed before. So this was another instance where he got outboxed. He had a shaky freaking conclusion with Brian Castano. Okay, we've seen it before. That's where it's going to be. Then Canelo, he going to have a freaking coming to Jesus moment. That type of Jesus that's considered a boxing Jesus. You know what I'm saying? He's going to have to then venture off into the idolatry aspect of boxing and say, you know what? How much stake is in this for me to fight Terrence Crawford coming up 3 weight divisions? Is it possible for me to gross and maximize the most I ever made fighting this guy 3 weight divisions down? He's gonna have to ask himself. He's gonna have to really give it an appraisal and say, you know what? This is also awesome opportunity for me to fight another undisputed fighter who has momentum behind him. I can't say he ain't did shit like they used to say all the time with Crawford. He has done something. So Canelo has to have a one-on-one with himself in reflection and say, should I or should I not take this fight? People want to see it, regardless if they keep talking about their Spence. People want to see Crawford and Canelo. Truth be told, they want to see it for many reasons. They want to see, can Crawford go out there and beat Canelo? And they want to see, can Canelo hand Crawford his first loss? Also, they looking at Crawford being a smaller fighter. The haters, are going to sit up here and say, I want to see him get knocked out. And Canelo is the guy to do it. You know what I'm saying? But for Jermell Charlo, it becomes extremely, I'm talking about, it becomes extremely interesting. Because now Canelo goes from earth to space all in one night, September 30th. Canelo goes from being damn near mortal. I'm talking about mortal to immortal, damn near immortal. Why? Because he would have went up here and beat Canelo for the 168 pounds titles, the first one to do it. Also moving up 2 weight divisions. Also become the second fighter ever to become 2 division undisputed. Right then and now, he levels up with Crawford and pretty much kind of surpasses Crawford. Real talk. Because you cannot put Errol Spence over Canelo Alvarez. Jermell Charlo would have actually accomplished a bigger feat than Crawford did with Errol Spence. That is facts. That is facts. Because Canelo has achieved more than Spence. Spence was one of those fighters where the backstory and the rivalry and everything, like they say, it happens once in a lifetime for 2 fighters to become rivals without even throwing a punch. The same thing with Jermell Charlo. They're not rivals. Jermell Charlo's being a good little guy. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't been getting out of pocket. He's been playing nice. But if he goes in here and defeat Canelo Alvarez, bro, it is just unbelievable how his life has taken that turn. It becomes extremely interesting. Real talk. He goes down in history, man. Seriously, he goes down in history. For all the right reasons. 2 division undisputed. You know what I'm saying? When I gave the scenario of them making money with Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo when they was both unified, and I said, hey, Errol Spence can move up and fight Charlo. Errol Spence can move up and fight Charlo, yeah, and win the belts and become 2 division unified, and then have a second fight where Charlo wins the belts back and become 2-time undisputed at 54. You know what I'm saying? Both him and Errol is able to make money together, like Mike Tyson said. And I put it out there way before he said the shit. It allows them both to make money and also further solidify their career in boxing. But that didn't happen. Why? Because he fought Crawford, lost, and then Jermell Charlo is about to lose his WBO title, but he can leave all that shit behind if he goes in here and defeat Canelo Alvarez. He can leave all that behind. He's on a whole another level. I'm on a new level. Jermell Charlo would be on a new level, bro. He will absolutely be one of the men in boxing. He's still not as popular as Crawford. He's not as popular as Crawford. But for him to get 2-time undisputed would be an amazing feat, being that his opponent was Canelo Alvarez, 2 divisions higher than him. That would be incredible. Absolutely incredible. But do I have the confidence to tell my audience I think that shit is going to happen? No, I cannot do myself a disservice like that. It ain't no way in hell, goddammit. I'm sticking to it. I don't see it happening. Show me. I want to see. That's all I'm saying. I can't see. Ray, can I get your glasses, Ray? Come on, baby. You asked for my glasses last. I just need to see, Ray. I can't really put a good visual on this. I can't see that far ahead next week. But they say the Charlo boy is going in there to fight that Canelo. I can't see it happening in favor of Jermell. You there, Ray? Talk to me. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. Now, what I did know is like I don't see it, man. I'm trying, bro. I'm trying to channel my Black history. I'm just trying. I'm trying to channel the Black gods out there. Give me a minute. I'm trying to do this shit. I'm trying to reach out to them Black gods that's in the heavens, in the welkin. You know what I'm saying? In the welkin of life. I'm trying to pull it all in and say, is it some entity, a deity out there that can convince me that Jermell Charlo can get this shit done? I can't pull in a thought, bro. I can't, man. I'm trying. I'm pulling out all the stops. It's just tough, bro. It's tough for me to just find one that will speak to me. I'm looking for that one angel that can convince me that Jermell can pull this off. I'm just trying to have that company visit me at this moment while I'm still live and tell me in my ear, like, hey, listen, he has an opportunity and this is how it's going to happen. It's just no one's willing to step forward, bro. That's all I'm saying. No one's willing to step forward and deliberately prove to me, you know what I'm saying, without any resentment that he has an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I want an angel that's reliable, not a rogue angel. And I'm searching for somebody that can convince me in good faith that this shit can happen. That's all. Now get back to the topic. All I'm saying is it should be a good fight next week. All right? It should be a good fight. But like I said before, and I stand on it, bro, with stilts. I stand on this shit with stilts, bro. I'm talking about 2023, 2024 titanium stilts. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I stand on it. I don't see Diddy James out coaching Eddie Reynoso, and I don't see Jermell Charlo outthinking Canelo Alvarez. I don't see it. I don't see it, bro. It has nothing to do with race, man. It has nothing to do with one black man to the next black man. I don't see it. I'm just being honest, people. I don't see it. If I close my eyes and I'm able to take some type of hallucinate, you know what I'm saying? Something to get my mind right. I still can't find it through all those channels, man. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing that can bring me back a response from across the synapses gap to give me that thought I'm looking for. It's nothing. Maybe I'm wrong for just basically saying that I don't see any possibility of Jermell Charlo winning versus Canelo. That's where I'm at with it. I just don't see it just yet. That's all. But like I said, if Jermell Charlo is able to get it done, God damn it, salute to him. His life is forever changed in the boxing community and in life personally. He's been able to change levels to a whole nother stratosphere by beating Canelo. Real talk, 2 divisions. You know what I'm saying? Being that I'm looking at how he's been treating the Crawford challenge and call outs, to him actually going up there proving that, yeah, I can handle a fight on this level. He just haven't really performed well, you know, on the big fights sometime. You know what I'm saying? With the Castano fight and the freaking Tony Harrison fight. But he is 2-0 in rematches. But you don't have that option to play around with Canelo and think you coming back for a rematch. No, you got to go in here the first time around, and you and your coach is going to have to get it done. Eddie Reynoso, he doesn't have that track record. It don't matter what's good. W says true, but Jermell will have no other choice to fight Crawford for the biggest fight of all time. Canelo and Crawford isn't the biggest fight of all time. Jermell Charlo and Crawford is not the biggest fight of all time. It's not. It's not. Seriously, it's not. Look at it this way. He's done what a lot of other fighters been able to do. The Usyks, the Josh Taylors, the Devin Haney's, the Terrence Crawfords. You know what I'm saying? Canelo Alvarez. Naoya Inoue. You know what I'm saying? Jermaine Taylor, Bernard Hopkins. Right now, he sits as being a one-divisional undisputed champion, as well as Crawford being a two-time undisputed, right? The reason why Jermell Charlo and Crawford won't be the biggest fight of all time because Jermell Charlo doesn't have the history behind him of big fights and big names. He doesn't. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. Canelo does. There's no way that anybody in their right mind is going to say Crawford and Charlo is the biggest fight in boxing history. There ain't no way in hell. Let me reread this because I might have scanned through it too quickly. Let me look at my vowels and my Jermell will have no other choice to fight Crawford for the biggest fight of all time. No, that's not absolutely no. I totally disagree. If Jermell win, then he will have no other choice than to fight the other two undisputed champions, Bud, for the biggest fight in his era. Okay. Now, if you're going to say for Jermell's biggest fight of his era, cool, but I don't find that if Bud Crawford fights Jermell, it'd be his biggest fight of his era. I don't see it, man. Because first of all, let's be clear. When we talk about resumes now, we're talking about resumes. Crawford separates himself, like I repeated. I'm repeating myself. He separates himself with the two-time undisputed. But you look at the Jason Rosario, you look at Brian Castano. People look, Jason Rosario been knocked out prior to getting stopped by Charlo to pick up those unified titles. Let's be honest with ourselves. And Brian Castano defeating Patrick Teixeira, okay, cool. Come on, man. But yet, I heard Shakur say that was the worst person on his resume. Julius Ndongo. And I'm puzzled a bit that Shakur Stevens would say that's the worst on his resume. Because Julius Ndongo, even though he was stopped in the third round, Amir Khan, are we going off him being stopped before? Come on now. Amir Khan's freaking performance, in my opinion, was worse than Julius Ndongo. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying because he just had the mentality already there to quit. He was getting roughed up early. He was just quit. Julius Ndongo got hit with a body shot, and it has nothing to do with Regis Prograis stopping him in 2 rounds. I'm talking about Crawford. Crawford stopped that man in the 3rd round with a body shot. Okay. But Julius Ndongo was undefeated. Undefeated. Amir Khan wasn't undefeated, bro. So how can Julius Ndongo be the worst on Crawford's resume? I don't know, because the man was undefeated, bro. You saying the worst on his resume? There's plenty of fighters I can think of that might just be a little bit, but come on, the worst? No, I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. But truth be told, when it comes to the recorded value of history, when it goes down in the boxing annals, man, goddamn it, Terrence Crawford is a 2-time undisputed. Jermell Charlo would definitely, fighting Terrence Crawford would be his biggest fight. Yeah. But for Terrence Crawford fighting Jermell Charlo, no, not in my opinion, because, when it's all said and done, man, Jermell already took a loss to Tony Harrison. Terrence Crawford is undefeated. You know what I'm saying? He's undefeated. And he has more fights than Jermell Charlo. You know what I'm saying? And he's been on the pound-for-pound list extensively longer than Jermell Charlo could ever fathom. You have to take all these variables into consideration. That kind of debunks that whole scenario that Crawford benefits from Jermell Charlo. When Jermell Charlo and Jermall Charlo was on the same card, and no one really talked about those numbers because it's not worth it. It's not even a concern. They was on the same. They try to split it up like it was two different cards. You know what I'm saying? But they don't have no numbers like that. They don't have special moments. Crawford has a special moment with Errol. This was a build-up several years in the making, and he closes it out. He just don't go in there and win via the judges' scorecards being read. He stops the man. He stops him. Who has been Jermell Charlo's rival? Has he ever had anybody that was his rival? And don't say Brian Castano. That wasn't a rival. That was a draw. If you take Brian Castano, Jermell Charlo and Brian Castano's draw, and you take Canelo and Gennady, more people will look at that as a rival, Canelo and Gennady. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a hell of a fight. That was a hell of a fight. And then you think about the second fight. The second fight doesn't add up to a Gennady and Canelo rematch. So there's some unbalance going on. That's some different type of weight we talking about. Has Jermell Charlo had a rival in his career yet? I don't know. Jermell has only been pay-per-view once. Jermell has only been pay-per-view once, same night as Jermall, and they weren't very successful. So if he'd been big fights, they would have been pay-per-view, in my opinion. Facts, bro. Facts, Toby. You know what I'm saying? Facts, man. I agree with that. I do. I agree with that. I do. Wholeheartedly, I agree. Oh, so Harvey Dock is going to be the referee for Canelo and Charlo next week. Shout out to Harvey Dock, man. I like Harvey, man. You know what I'm saying? Did an outstanding job stopping that fight and preserving Errol Spence, you know, to potentially go back in there and fight again. Good work. Great work for Harvey Dock. But yeah, I agree with what you said, Toby. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing to brag about. So let's see how he goes in here. Now, I'm gonna get one thing straight. I'm not wishing Jermell Charlo to lose this fight. That's not how I get out. I'm not wishing that. I wasn't wishing nothing on Errol Spence. It was just I was pretty confident that the fight was gonna play out the way it did, and it did. You know, and it did. Crawford went in there and dominated. Jermell beating Canelo would be the next biggest fight. Jermell beating Canelo would be the next biggest fight if he can get this WBO belt back from the two-time undisputed, saying it would be the next biggest fight in boxing. Hey, it don't matter. You got to look at what he said, though. You got to hold Jermell Charlo to his words. If he beat Canelo, he's not focused on Bud, bro. He's trying to distance himself from Bud because Bud is a threat to Jermell. Jermell is trying to collect 2 bags off one opportunity. I don't blame him for that, bro. I don't blame him for trying to collect 2 bags off one opportunity. He's made it perfectly clear that he's trying to fight Canelo again in a rematch. So he's trying to say, well, I'm going to keep myself busy because I want to fight Canelo twice because I know the money's going to be right. Even though his brother Maul is supposed to be next in line, that becomes very, very intriguing because I don't know how that's going to work. If your brother's the reigning super middleweight champion and you're supposed to get a next in line for Canelo, it serves little purpose for him to face Canelo after losing to Jermell Charlo. It serves little purpose. What is Maul going to get from that? You know what I'm saying? You're not getting any belts because your brother get it. It will behoove you to face your brother. You know what I'm saying? Do something that we didn't see coming. You all are separated. You know what I'm saying? You remember when I was talking about the what is needed between Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo to basically separate? All they had to do is start a little Twitter beef and all that and separate. Well, that's pretty much what happened between the Charlo twins. This is the perfect time. If Jermell Charlo beats Canelo, it's a perfect time for us to see both Charlo twins fight each other, because they're separated right now. You got Mar Charlo down in Florida and his brothers in Texas. This is the perfect time to shake up boxing, bro. But I know it's not going to happen. I put it out there, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, bro. It's not going to happen. That would shake up boxing, period. But, you know, just the whole point of what it don't matter said is that Jermell Charlo beating Canelo will be the next biggest fight if he can get the WBO belt back. I agree with you on that scenario, but that wasn't a scenario you said earlier, and I get it, bro. I get it, but I'm just making it clear. What you said earlier is not what I gathered. What you just mentioned that's on the screen. Now, if he beats Canelo, he said he ain't coming back to 54. It's Jermell Charlo. This is what I'm trying to tell you. When I have very minimal confidence in him beating Canelo, because Bud is calling him out of 54, but he's making it perfectly clear that he's gonna keep his distance. As a new super middleweight undisputed champion, and he's just gonna let the 54-pound division go. That's what I'm saying. But we know damn well that he loses to Canelo, his ass is returning back down here to where he got these belts. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And look, I also said, what benefit is it to Crawford to go up here and fight Tim Tszyu for the WBO and put himself on the same itinerary that he had moving up from 40 to 47? It makes no point. He said if Jermell Charlo want to come back down to 54 and fight Tszyu for the WBO title, do it. And then I'll fight you. But that can't be the biggest fight for Terrence Crawford if he takes another L from Canelo. Terrence skipping over the 54-pound division and saying, fuck that. Mel's going to try to make it difficult for me anyway. I want to fight Canelo Alvarez. That's a huge fight for me. I finally got the momentum. I'm shining. I'm freaking vibrant right now. Canelo's been radiating in the boxing community. Let's make this fucking fight. You get the opportunity to fight another undisputed fighter, and then for Crawford, he gets a chance to fight Canelo for the first time, an undisputed fighter at 68. Plus, he's moving up multiple weight classes, just like Jermell Charlo. Let's see it. Let's see it, bro. We'll see next week, though. We'll see next week. Jermell's biggest rival has been Jamal, off and on over the last. Yeah, they've been going on. It was on social media, Toby. Yeah, you're right. They was verbally sparring, personal shit on social media. Why not get paid for it, man? Why not get paid? What's going on, Victory? What's good with you? Salute to you on deck in the building. I don't think Mel lacks ring generalship. I just feel that he can get tunnel vision and trying to knock somebody out too much. And then when it comes to him listening to Diddy James, I don't think he really hears the music. You know what I'm saying? Diddy James, I don't see them listening to how Crawford would listen to Bomac. I haven't seen that from Jermell Charlo. Seriously, that's just me. That's just me, man. He can get freaking hard-headed sometime, and he just want to go in there and try to headhunt and shit. But you know what I'm saying? Ring generalship. He can move. He can box. But him parking up against the ropes with Canelo, Can he push Canelo up against the ropes like Bivol was able to do? I don't know, man. I don't know how Canelo is going to go about his fight strategy I don't know what Canelo's game plan is against Charlo. I don't know, because I don't think Charlo's on Canelo's level. So I'm curious to know. Look, Canelo knew he was going up there fighting a legitimate, tough contender. For in that fight, not so much championship contender. I'm talking about an opponent in Dimitri Bivol. He knew that dude can box, but no one's really given Mel Charlo that status of a Dimitri Bivol heading in there to fight Mel Charlo next week. Nah. Jessica on deck, I see you. What's good? I like that fight, Boots versus Danny, but you know Danny's about to fight at 60, so it's not even relevant. Danny's about to fight potentially Erickson Lubin at 60. It does nothing. You know, it really does nothing, man. There's no way Danny's coming back down to 47. I don't see Boots moving up anytime soon. Even though he's a big welterweight, I don't know, bro. Yeah, shout out to Victory on deck in the building. I think this is the first time I've seen you over here. But make sure, you know, if you haven't subbed to the channel, I would appreciate you that you show some love and sub to the channel. And those of you that's been in the building, you know, we're sitting at about 26 likes right now. If you haven't liked the video, please do so. Carlos Rosado say free Bomac. Yes, sir. Free Bomac, man. You know what I'm saying? Free Bomac. Mill to me has a lot of holes in his game. Even Andre Ward fought 2 fights before he faced a killer like Kovalev. We want to know, can he go in here and expose any of holes in Canelo's game? Because Canelo, it's not like he doesn't have holes, but you know, the holes that Bivol was able to expose is pretty much on a different level than Jermell Charlo, though. You know, even though we're talking about, okay, Mel Charlo at 54 can potentially be on the level of a Bivol, right? But we haven't really seen a performance to validate that shit yet. We haven't seen it. So is this the fight for him to come out? We'll see. I haven't seen one fight that we can say, okay, how Bivol performed with Canelo Alvarez. Now we get it. We get it. No, I haven't seen it, bro. And there's no way people gonna convince me that he's gonna all of a sudden have a coming out party against Canelo, and we've never seen a performance like that. More so to compare it to Bivol Canelo. I've never seen a fight to give me that confidence to say, yeah, Mel's gonna have the best night of his life. I don't know. We'll have to see how he reacts when Canelo starts to land those shots. Canelo he knows how to roll with shots, man. Canelo is smart enough not to, you know, we seen how Castaño just came in there and just stood right in front of Mar Charlo in the first fight. And then he attempted to do the same thing, put the pressure on Mel Charlo rather in the second fight. But he was broke down. I don't see Canelo allowing Mel Charlo to just have those moments where he's gifting him a pass. I don't see him handing out coupons that fight. I'm just being honest. If he gets Mel Charlo in a predicament, I think he's gonna, you know, basically execute what Canelo has been known for. I don't see him just having luggage in this fight and saying, oh man, I just want to see how the wheels work on this. Look, I'm gonna carry you over to the 12th round. Okay. I just want to see what it, you know, how my shoulder holds up and everything, how my knees feel. Yeah, I'm just gonna take this payload into the 12th round. No, I don't see it, bro. I don't see it. You know, and make it so bad. Like I'm gonna put something else out there that haven't been said either. I know this for a fact. It hasn't been put out there. But how is it gonna look for Canelo to carry over a fighter into the 12th round like Spence did Garcia? It's not gonna be the same, bro. Like if Canelo carries Mel Charlo to the 12th round, he came up 2 divisions. People are really gonna start pushing for the fight between him and Bud because they're gonna say, well, Jermell Charlo went 12 rounds for you. How can you say Bud Crawford is light when you just went 12 rounds with a light fighter? You know what I'm saying? You just went 12 rounds with a lighter fighter. So Bud has a chance. So they're not going to just be up here giving him passes and therapeutic exemptions to say, well, I know why you said what you said about Terrence Crawford because he was too light in the ass and all that. But everybody's been saying that about him. What do I look to gain? The same thing you look to gain by going the distance with motherfucking Jermell Charlo. Well, his natural walk around. Oh shit, we don't know what's Crawford's natural walk around weight. On or off the snack program, it don't matter. What's his walk around weight? You know what I'm saying? Because last time I checked, Jermell Charlo wasn't trying to really tell people what his walk around weight is, but he did say, well, you know, hey, no, you know how he do it. He really didn't want to give anybody, but I'm pretty sure he picks up some weight in between time. His brother Mar Charlo is a pretty big boy. Seriously, you know. So I'm looking at Mar Charlo being bigger than Mel Charlo. It's not that much of a difference between him and Bud, man. I'm being honest, man. It's not that big of a difference. I've seen both of these dudes. And then, you know how Bud looked on the night he fought Spence? He looked muscular, man. He looked like he was holding that weight very, very well. But shout out to Martin King Boxing in the building. What's good with it, Ron? You'll be making another vid later on Canelo sparring partners, saying he lazy. Just saw the thumbnail on another channel. You'll be making another video later on Canelo sparring partners, saying he lazy. I mean, they can say what they want. Just like people always talk about how they sparred Tank Davis and got off on Tank. But what happened? We can talk about how people can spar Bud and say they got off on Bud too. But what happened on fight night? You know what I'm saying? They've been there, done that, bro. I've seen people, oh man, I got off on Tank Davis. I don't know how many fighters say they got off on Tank. But what's his record though? What's his pay-per-view numbers? Is he still stopping cats? You know what I'm saying? The same thing go for Bud. Oh, man, they sparred Bud. You know what I'm saying? Got off on him, this, that, and the other. But what is he doing on fight night, though? He's crushing dudes, man. Crushing them. On All Access, Jermell said he wasn't recognized as a knockout artist. But since he's been with Diddy, he knocked out everyone he's faced up to now. But I can't see him KOing Canelo. Well, if he knocked out everybody, why did he face Castaño twice? If that was the case, he's just knocking out everybody. We know what the vowels are. You know what I'm saying? We know what the vowels are. And also we know what the syllables are too, Toby. And last time I checked, D wasn't a vowel. It's not A-E-I-O and sometimes D. A-E-I-O-U and sometimes D. It's not A-I. A-I-E, A-I, ooh-ah, ooh. D is not a vowel. What I'm trying to say is draw. Is draw considered a knockout? I'm just curious. Is draw? Why did you go a draw? In order for you to have a draw, that means in that particular scenario that he went the distance with Castaño. So you're telling me a knockout? So am I supposed to act confused that he went the distance with Castaño and everything else is quite different? Just go ahead and expunge that was actually a knockout just because Jermell Charlo say he's a knockout artist. He went the distance with Castaño, bro. He went the distance with Castaño. He almost went the distance with Tony Harrison in a rematch. Yes, sir. He went the distance the first fight with Tony Harrison. I'm just saying, Toby. I'm just saying he can say he's a knockout artist. I heard him say that, but bro, you went the distance with Castaño, man. Come on, man. You did. Canelo gonna make this look easy. I might put 20 male, but it's not seeming possible. Canelo say his best he's ever felt. Yeah, he say he feel like he can fight several years after this. You know, he's feeling good right now. Okay. If his sparring partners is saying that he's lazy, I want to see that laziness play out and affect Canelo in the worst way. I do. I want to see it, bro. I want to see it. You know what I'm saying, Toby? I want to see the laziness, because these sparring partners can be manipulators also. They can put false information out there. Man, I don't believe this shit leading up to a fight of this magnitude and something that's not a history. You know, not in history. I haven't heard Canelo sparring partners in history say, you know what, man, go spar Canelo. He's lazy. He's getting knocked out, bro. He's getting buzzed. He's getting worked over. No. I haven't heard Canelo sparring partners have the cojones to keep that up, sparring Canelo. If they coming out talking that bullshit, no, man, that's just, no, I don't believe it. Yeah, they didn't mention that draw, but they're saying when he faced him the second time he KO'd him, he did. But Toby, I get where you're coming from, but he said he's a KO artist. You went the distance with Castaño, though. You went the distance with Tony Harrison. I know he had to fight Tony Harrison the second time to get his belt back to even go on the freaking undisputed hunt. He had to beat Tony Harrison again, but he went the distance with Tony Harrison, bro. And he lost his belt. That's all I'm saying, man. Castaño versus Mel first fight was life and death situation. Mel proved, but was it a bite, a baby lot, or just a little improvement? My bad. I just saw the thumbnail and thought it might be a topic you might talk about. I don't care about it sparring. I don't know what thumbnail you're talking about. I don't know what thumbnail you're talking about, Carlos, for real. Let me do a little pondering. You know what I'm saying? What thumbnail is that thumbnail? Let me see. And I don't see any thumbnail out here. You know what I'm saying? I don't see a thumbnail out here just yet. But after I shut down this live, I will go on and put the bloodhounds out there and search for that thumbnail there, Carlos, for real. I will search for that. I will search for that. I haven't seen it yet. You feel me? I haven't seen it, Carlos. I appreciate you making me aware of it. I haven't seen it. It was on Bushido Boxing Channel. I didn't want to plug. Okay. Let me just take a look gander over here, man. Bushido Boxing. Let me see. See what were we talking about right here? Let me see one. Let me see what we talking about. Okay. No, don't see anything over here. Let me go to the other one. Nope, don't see anything about sparring partners. Some people have more than one channel. He has more than one channel. So let me go up here to where I'm not subscribed and see if it's over here. Basketball, what's crazy? Nope, don't see it. Nope. So I cannot locate it. I have to do more research after this, people. You know what I'm saying? So you finally put the link in there. So let me check out the link. Okay, so I'll check this out after. That's hilarious, man. I don't put too much emphasis into it, but appreciate you, Carlos, for dropping that nugget over here. I'm definitely going to review it once I shut down this live, because I'm about to do just that. But appreciate you, brother, for dropping that gem. You know what I'm saying, in here. I will look at it. I don't put too much stock in it, bro. You know, him being lazy, Canelo's still the man, you know, at the end of the day in this fight. He's still the side. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He is the side, the Mexican side. You know what I'm saying? I can look, Jermell Charlo have to prove to me that he's basically elevated himself on the right night, right time, the right moment. I will sit up here and give Jermell Charlo all the praise in the world, man. You know what I'm saying? Unlimited adulations if he go ahead and pull off this fight with Canelo. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, shawty. I will give you everything that you deserve and say I was absolutely wrong. I was all, you know, I was off target with not giving you the preliminary credit that you might have warranted, not deserved, warranted heading into this fight. You feel me? I don't know, bro. I don't know. I have to look at it though, Carlos. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely going to catch some buzz because it's happening next week. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. I got you, Carlos. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate, like I said, appreciate dropping that nugget over here. Real talk. Appreciate you. But appreciate y'all. One love to everyone who pulled up in the chat, man. Enjoy your Tuesday. Once again, man, shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game, A-Side Official. You already know how we do. I'm out.
Left jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss. Now you counting stars. Should've practiced more. Should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.